And I can't. A busy day for me today because I have my
district.
That's right. But in Ripon, there were United buses that came out of Darlington, would you believe?
Yes, yeah. They used to run strike round here.
Have they? Right.
Yes.
Why
yes.
don't you two get a phone?
We should do.
Well done,
I'm waiting here patiently to start the show. Patiently. It's lovely to see you all. I'm sure there's a lot at the tennis today because we've got fewer than normal, but that's no problem at all. Are we all good?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are we all ready to start?
Yeah.
So let's start. That brought back memories, didn't it? That brought.
Absolutely.
Now, who are we going to pick? Graham Bauer. I don't recognize that name. We do a thing here where I say to somebody, would you like to do the magic mute? Or would you like, you just go 1, 2, 3, mute, and it mutes everybody. So then it's absolutely silent. Do you want to do that, Graham?
I'd love to.
Okay. Are you ready, Graham? On you go.
1, 2, 3, mute.
And there it was, silent. Can you hear the silence, everybody? That's beautiful. But listen, this is Sounds of Sunday for the 3rd of July. It's right in the middle of, what is it in the middle of, everybody? Wimbledon. I just caught a little bit of it, all the old timers coming out. That was really lovely. Sandy loves all the old timers. John Newcomb. And she said, oh my goodness me, he's put on weight. And probably everybody thought that, probably because he's not playing tennis anymore. But there we are. So this is lovely. What we do now is we go through the agenda, the running order for today. We have the month, what I did for the month. That's always interesting. And then we're going to have Whispering, one of our old hits. And then we're going to do the old video diaries, which everybody seems to love. It's a look back to years gone by, to what we get up to. A tech tip. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to tell you how we achieve all those great big harmonies. Not too long, I won't bore you, but for some musically minded people, say you're in choirs and that, it'll be very, very interesting. Then we've got Melody Road, which is the Neil Diamond track. I promised I'd do that, and I've done it, and that's especially for John Leyland. We've got the birthdays then, so Lynn, get ready with the birthday. She's nodding her head. That's lovely, Lynn. And then Danny Boy, Con's unfavourite song, but I think he did the best version of it, and we recorded this about 6 months ago. I loved doing the video. It was really lovely. And then we have If Ever I Would Leave You to finish the show. And that was Con's favourite song, actually. So how was my month? I'll just put this on to Speak of You now. There we are. I'm on Speak of You. Do you like the hair today? It's a bit different. It's a bit wild. It's a bit trendy. And I've got a new outfit for you. Isn't that lovely? Oh, I'm showing the wire. Wait now, get rid of that wire in there. And there's something that I learned. John Leyland will be interested in this. And anybody interested in video and everything. Whenever you're wearing one of these things, the wire always gets, it always looks messy. Yeah? So what we do, and I didn't know this, that is called a broadcasting loop. So you loop it in around. It's a very tricky way of doing it, but doesn't it look good? It looks very, very neat. And there's a trick for you. I'll tell you sometime how to do that. This is actually what I got up to last month. It's quite lovely here. So what did I get up to this month? Well, really back to normal. All the videos, all the recordings. I really enjoyed the recording, which you'll hear a little bit later in the program. The Neil Diamond song, Melody Road. Sorry Neil, I improved it a little bit because I've always felt it wasn't really that finished. Some of his melody lines were a bit iffy, and it felt to me like he was rushed, or maybe he was a bit lazy and didn't finish it. Maybe he didn't think much of the song. But I think it's a good song, and so I've done the business on it. What else did I get up to? Oh, Father's Day. We had a great time. So, Father's Day. Yeah, the gang arrived, and there they are, looking at the food. What is there? Oh, there's plenty, I can tell you that. Look at that. And that's not the whole lot of it. I did the main piece, which is all the prawns. See that? There's more food coming out, more food coming out. We were feeding the 5,000. Then they started, the hungry monsters, eating all my food. And that's the Cantina Cutlery, comes out every time. Dorothy Solomon and Philip gave me that 54 years ago. They're really enjoying that, aren't they? Oh, that's a lovely dish. Victoria did a lot of dishes. They were all tapas, Spanish tapas dishes. That's the one I did, which was all seafood. Lots of prawns, langoustine, crab, that sort of thing. That was prawn pil, which is very extremely chilli hot. And that was a dish that Victoria made. Again, everything was particularly chilly and particularly hot. They were beautiful, chopped up mushrooms, Spanish style, with lots of spring onions, that sort of thing. Then calamari, dusted with breadcrumbs. That's a particularly favourite one in Spain. And there's the family, the whole lot of us. They gave me a great time, the family. I think they feel sorry for me a little bit, but hey, I'm getting there. I'm getting better and better every week. And people ask me, really, how am I getting on without Con? The fact of the matter is, I was heartbroken the first few weeks, but then after about 3 weeks, when we had the funeral, once the funeral was over, that seemed to be it. It seemed to be closure. And I didn't cry again, which was quite amazing. He's always with me, Con. I don't feel that he's ever gone. I don't even think about him. I just know he's there and he's looking after me, and he's doing a good job of looking after me. The next great thing that happened to me was my granddaughter, Layla, love of my life, and of course so is Isabel and so is Zach. But Layla has been auditioning and auditioning and auditioning. She's a drama scholar at Eastbourne College. And lo and behold, she's now got one of the title roles in a new drama comedy for Channel 4. They start filming it tomorrow, would you believe, in Wales. So I can't wait to see that. I'll let you know when it's on, because it'll be really something. And I just hope that she's going to make a star of herself. That'll be lovely, won't it? So there we are. This is me, Eastbourne, which I love. I love the sights in Eastbourne. I come up here as much as I can. I haven't been up here recently very much, but I've been exercising as much as I can, because that's the key to everything, exercise. So, see you soon again. Bye. Listen, I was looking at all that food. I'm always on about food because I really think it's one of the great things in life is food, different food. I love food from all over the world. But I'm looking at, if I went on to get a review, I looked at somebody, and say I looked at Joy Henderson, and I said to her, Joy, what's your favourite food?
I like frog's legs. I've only had them once, and I really liked them. I didn't like the look of them, but before I started eating them.
Good Lord, I don't think I've ever had frog's legs. That's French food, really, isn't it?
Just
Chris,
like
Chris, what about yourself there, Chris? Chris Dare.
My favourite main course food is veal. I've always enjoyed veal in various forms, from schnitzel through to veal with lemon, cream sauce. It's not very popular for, I suppose, the obvious reasons, but there are one or two restaurants in Yorkshire that have it on the menu, and if I see it, I go for it.
I must say, yeah, veal. I do like veal. I know all the arguments. We all know the arguments, but really, I can't help think for millions of years, man was just killing animals and eating them, probably raw. So I don't get involved in the argument at all. And all the time I go to my Italian restaurant and I always say, give me something that I haven't, I don't know. Just give me a surprise.
Yeah.
And they'll often bring out the surprise, the veal, you know, the veal schnitzel or whatever they do, you know, Italian style. And it's always gorgeous, Chris. It's always gorgeous. Stephen, you're a stranger to us. There's Stephen Beer Park. What is your favourite food, do you think?
I do like roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. That's my favourite.
Very, very simple, Chris, and very clever, and very. Do you know something? I'm a great amateur chef, but it has to be gourmet stuff. Everything has to be gourmet, and I've never in my life cooked a Sunday roast. I will sometime. I've got a roast in the freezer, and I will cook it sometime. Stephen, you can advise me. How is the best way to cook it? Go on.
Oh, I don't cook it. I go out and eat it.
Chris, that's terrible. No, Stephen, that's terrible. I was meaning, you know, all the gourmet stuff and cooking and all that. But I probably didn't explain it right. But that's lovely, Stephen. Do you know, when we started, we had a huge hit with Charmaine, and then everything escaped us, and we were actually advised to go back to Ireland. Honestly, that's the truth. And we didn't. We stuck with it, and somehow or other, Dick Rowe at Decca had faith in us. And we recorded this, and it wasn't as successful. We had Faraway Places after Charmaine. We had a Christmas song, which was a disaster, because BBC and all the radio stations decided in their infinite wisdom that they wouldn't play any Christmas songs until 3 days before Christmas. So that absolutely knackered the whole promotion of the song. So we got along to Whispering, and it was a nice hit. It was a nice hit. It wasn't a huge hit. It was what I call a nice hit. And Con and I got together a little while ago, about 6 months ago actually, and we recorded this, and see what you think of it.
Whisper that you love me, whispering while you cuddle near me. Whispering, whisper so no one else can hear. Whispering, each whisper seems to cheer me. I know it's true that there ain't nobody but you. Whoa, you're whispering why you'll never leave me. Whispering why you'll never grieve me. Whisper and say that you'll believe me. Whispering that I love you. Whispering while you so no one else can hear me. Each whisper seems to cheer me. I know it's true that there ain't nobody but you. While you're whispering why you'll never leave me, whispering why you'll never grieve me. Whisper and say that you'll believe me, whispering that I love you.
Isn't that lovely? And the big laugh I always have about that song is that little note at the end, da da. Con played that, and oh, let's see what the applause is like. Let's see what the applause is like. Lynn is leading the applause. Look at that, everybody's going berserk. Even Stephen, that's terrific. And John Hutchinson, look at that, and Carol. I can see you all, and that's amazing. And Janet's not letting us look at her today. Janet over in Thunder Bay. Are you there, Janet? Just say hello. Just say hello, Janet.
I am, and greetings from Thunder Bay, Canada, everyone.
And is it cold or warm at this time of the year?
Finally, it's warm. We have probably about two to 3 months of warmth, and then it's back to pre-winter weather.
Oh, terrific. Janet's a very good friend of mine and helps me an awful lot with battle speakers, don't you, Janet? You're a rock. They call you a rock. But looking at that video, and a lot of people, I'm sure, wonder, how do we do all those harmonies? And I thought I'd do a little quick tech tip, because there are probably a few people in the audience today involved in choirs, like to sing a little bit and all that. The truth of the matter is, when we started first, we were very, very lucky, because with BBC and all the radio stations, it was 2-track, which was simply left and right stereo. So you couldn't put more tracks on top of your own voices or on top of your own instruments. Now, a great person that I was a huge fan of was a guy called Les Paul. Now, you know that black guitar I played that everybody lusts over, because they tell me it's worth a fortune, and thank goodness I bought it myself with my own money in Blackpool when we were doing the 1966 season. Thank goodness I did. But I love that guitar, and everybody that sees it and hears it lusts after it. But Les Paul not only designed that guitar, which is the first solid guitar, he designed the system of multi-tracking. If anybody ever wants to hear great guitar playing, I'm a Les Paul fanatic. I don't tell people that. But get yourself some remastered Les Paul records. And in fact, I have a surprise at the very end of the show. He was a genius at tracking himself on top of something else. It was very complicated to do that in his day. You had to change this playhead into a record head, very technical. And then, you know the hiss that tape has, the old cassette tapes. It was always a under it. Now, he was a genius at just covering that. So he managed to do about 8, 10, 12 tracks of himself playing. And that's where I got all those ideas. So when we came to record I Believe, I mentioned it to Ivor Raymond, who used to produce our records with me. And I said, Ivor, would there be any chance? Because it's only 2-part harmony, John and myself singing harmony, and it just sounds a little bit empty. And he said, let's have a go. And coincidentally, they just installed a 4-track recorder. So now we had 4 tracks. So we put the band on the left and right as usual. but we'd have the voices normally on there as well. But we didn't have the voices, and we put the voices on that track, yeah, and placed that in the middle. So we were back to where we were originally, but now we had a spare track. So with Ivor, I said, Ivor, could you write us some nice harmonies? And if you listen to the second stanza, shall I say, of I Believe, you'll hear that John and I sang, ooh, okay, so that was that. But then I sang, ooh, and put the two of them together, your two part. And John then sang, ooh, and again, on top of that again, da, 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 da. But put the four of them together and you got 4-part harmony. Now, through the years, we got up to 8-track very quickly, so we could do more harmonies and we could put extra instruments on. So you'd hear a lot of mouth organs on some of the records, and that's how we did that. And then it came to 16-track. Now we were really motoring, and some people were then it went to 32-track, which is that huge wide tape. Now, and by the way, the Beatles copied everything we did, because we were up in West Hampstead, Broadhurst Gardens, and they were down in Abbey Road, and they had spies coming up to see what we were doing. So as soon as we did the multi-tracking in I Believe, they were doing multi-tracking immediately. Now, recently I've heard programs on television talking about multi-tracking and everything, and saying Brian Wilson was the first to do it. No, he wasn't. The Bachelors were the first to do it. K-Star was the first solo artist to do it in America. And it wasn't very favorable. It was what you call 2-tracking. John will know about that. And there we are. It was us that did all the initial multi-tracking of vocals. So now you know. Oh, here's a trick. Here's a trick. When you're multi-tracking yourself, ladies and gentlemen, you have earphones on. Okay? Now make sure you take one earpiece off, because if your brain only hears your voice on the track, yeah, it will automatically assume that's what you're singing. And you wouldn't believe what happens if you do that. So you listen to your own voice and you're singing along with your own voice, you will sing, your brain goes completely out of control, and it's rubbish that you sing. So there we are. John, what did you think of that expose on multi-tracking?
Yeah, from conversations I've had with you down the years. But it's great to see how such a rich melodic sound can be crafted, and it's not cheating, it's just improving the original to make it sound better and richer.
You're absolutely right. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. I actually personally prefer what we can do nowadays. Just be honest. Do you prefer the very simple, just the 3 parts, or the big multi stuff we do?
I like the old stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've had it for such a long time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes, I mean, I spent quite a lot of money on a new turntable about 2 years ago, and I deep cleaned all my old albums, and I started to hear things that I'd never heard before on records. Yeah. Just a little, maybe a piano fill or an infill from a harmonica. And it was almost like listening to a different take of the track on some of them.
Yeah. And
I actually love discovering stuff like that. Yeah. It's great because it keeps everything fresh.
Well, I've always been a great believer, John, of every time you listen to a track, you hear something different.
Yeah,
I've always been a great believer in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my hat goes off completely. To the engineers in those days. And John, would you do something for me? Would you find out who the original? I think it was Bob, the original guy who recorded all those things, Diane and Charmaine, originally, and I Believe. He was a great, great friend, and the name escapes me. He was the guy, he recorded Jimi Hendrix, he did Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck. Would you have a little snoop around and try and find out who the recording engineer was?
That shouldn't be too difficult, because a lot of the information is actually on the record, believe it or not. If you look at the long number at 6 o'clock in the playoff,
yeah,
there's a code.
Really?
And one of the letters in the code is the engineer.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So somewhere I've got a list of the Decca engineers, and which each letter relates to a Decca engineer.
Yeah.
There is so much information on the record, dead wax at the end.
Yeah.
You know, the mother disc, the stamper disc, the code that Decca used, Buckingham, which is at every 2,000 presses they changed the stamper, because 2,000 was the maximum, and the first 2,000 records have always got the letter B in the dead wax at 3 o'clock.
Good Lord, that is amazing. You're a genius, John. I'm glad I asked you that question. But listen, let's get on, John, because I know people love these videos from the past. And this is a particularly good one because there's a nice bit of con at the end.
Now here we are, Strobe Tuesday, the great pancake making deal. Oh, look at this. That was good. Oh, here we go. Wait now. Hop! Oh, brilliant, brilliant. That was good. You did well there. It's burnt a little bit, is it?
It's whistling.
It's whistling?
Mommy, it's whistling.
Okay, I'm going to do mine now.
You're using up all the mixture. Lemon.
Oh, I love thick pancakes.
Sugar. This pancake is now going to fail.
Right. I wonder who the best pancake tosser is, though. Who's the best pancake tosser? Oh, that's beautiful. That is, ooh, tasty. Lovely. Wait till you see what I'm going to do. Now, the magic turn. 1, 2, 3. Ah, nearly. Have another go.
Try again.
Go on, here we go.
Okay,
This one, it's going to be perfect this time. 1, 2, 3. Hop!
Oh,
halfway.
Oh. Shake it. That's it. It might be too thin.
Ah, it was almost perfect. That was good. And here we are at the end of the month. End of February. Where has the years gone, the months gone, the weeks gone, the hours gone? But by the magic of the internet, we're now going to go live up to Yorkshire, to Con. Hello, Con.
Well, it's the end of another month and time to say goodbye for this month. But we've got lots of shows coming up through the year, so look forward to seeing you somewhere. We'll be driving up and down the motorways as usual, coming to see you, won't we, Dec? And we hope to see you at one of our shows somewhere. Till then, see you soon. Bye.
And it's goodbye from me down in Eastbourne.
Bye.
So from Con and Dec, see ya. Bye.
Four strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all these things that won't change, come what may. Well, our good times are all gone.
And I left that end bit on so that you could just bring back some lovely memories. I'm sure most of you remember those video diaries that we used to do. Are you wondering what the bump was on my nose? You are. I know you are. Look at John. I know you are. A little bit of cancer, actually. skin cancer, which is nobody minds about nowadays. It used to be horrendous. Jess Conrad, you maybe hear me mentioning him. His wife Rennie got herself into huge trouble with not taking care of a spot. But I'm very conscious of them because I got a lot of brown spots on my body from too much sun in the old days. And John Hutchinson is saying 4 Strong Winds, one of my favorite songs. I loved it as well. I loved playing all the guitars on there. That was terrific. But yeah, so the advice really from everybody is if you get anything at all on your body, just be very careful. Don't mess about with it. Don't mess about with it. Just get yourself along to the doctor. I went last week and I had 4 zapped off. I had 4 bits zapped off and she did them very quickly. Yes, it hurt. It definitely hurt. But I managed to get rid of them and that's it. So now we keep on about this Melody Road, Melody Road, Melody Road. And this, I'm going to play it now. This is particularly for John because you didn't actually send me a critique of the video, John. He usually does, but he didn't this time. Probably on holiday, or you were out enjoying yourself, or you couldn't be bothered. And I'm looking at your face, John. And you just take look at his face. Look at his face.
I didn't receive it, Dec.
You didn't receive it?
I got the audio track a few days ago, but I never got the video.
Ah, sorry about that. WeTransfer must have made a mistake. Computers do make mistakes sometimes.
You should know I wouldn't ignore that.
I was in shock. I cried all night long because what I tend to do is John is a very photographic sort of a person and is also a genius on all things Bachelors. So it's really from the technical side, I send it to John just in case there's anything technically wrong. But he never says there's anything technically wrong, do you? But this is just...
I know better.
And listen, if anybody else wants to suggest a good song that I can do, I know Lynn has suggested some Carpenter stuff, and I'm looking at that. But if anybody wants a particular song, I'll have a go at singing it. And then I'll send it to you, and you can critique it yourself. But listen, here is that song. I really enjoyed this. This is the very first track I've ever done without Con's involvement. Brought a tear to my eye, I must say, a little bit, but here we go. It's lovely. Melody Road, I'm on with you all the way to the end. I know every song you lead me to is gonna be my friend. Melody Road, I play all night, take my old uke and strum. Find me some words that feel just right, the music's gonna come from Melody Road. Melody from the heart, melody from the start, telling me things will be okay. I think I just might stay on Melody Road. Melody Road, let's go a mile. I'll tie on my rambling shoes. Write me a song to make you smile. There's no need to sing the blues on Melody Road. Melodies that unfold, melodies made of gold, making up songs along the way. I'm thinking I just might stay on Melody Road.
love every song that comes to me, 'cause I know it comes to me on Melody Road. Melody Road. Melody Road. Melody Road.
Courtesy of Dec Clusky. Entire copyright. I have to do that. Dec Clusky. So, did you enjoy that? Let me see what the applause was like. What is the applause like? Look at that. This is amazing. That's fantastic. Fantastic. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. And John, shall we go straight on to you? What did you think? You didn't give me a critique, but give me a critique now. Go on.
Well, I've always liked that song. In fact, I suggested it maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But at the time, you thought there may be too many words in it. But I knew that if you listen to the words, it would be perfect for where you are right now. And it would be a statement piece for you about carrying on making music. And you did a brilliant job.
Oh, thanks a lot, John. Thanks a lot. That means a lot to me. It means an awful lot to me.
It's very moving, actually.
Oh, John. Yep. My brother taught me an awful lot. I actually tried to emulate him, if that's the word. You know, I know how he thought about lyrics, and I used to watch him recording, and I could see it. And his lyric sheet was black with notes. Every word was treated in a great way. He was a great performer. One of the greats the world has ever seen. And I just hope that he is listening to that somewhere and he might think they're a good job. But I appreciate your compliments, John, and thank you very much. Let's get on to something merrier, shall we? Birthdays. Where's Lynn? Where is Lynn? Where is Lynn?
Here I am.
Lynn. There's Lynn. Now, have we any birthdays?
Yes, there's Margaret Taylor. Her
Margaret
birthday
Taylor.
will be on the 24th of July.
Yeah, that's lovely. Margaret Taylor, where is she?
Hello.
There's Margaret. And which side of 20 are you?
The highest side.
Margaret, this is lovely. We're going to sing happy birthday. Now this birthday cake, honestly, you won't believe this. This is from Venezuela. Now I know they're having a lot of trouble at the moment in Venezuela, but we managed to get through all the export controls, through the EU controls. It was sent over to Hollywood, then it was sent over to Berlin, and then it arrived in Belfast, and here it is, all the way here for you, Margaret. So we're going to all together sing, happy birthday to you, Margaret. Happy birthday to you, Margaret. Happy birthday, dear Margaret. Happy birthday to you. Now, do you know what to do now, Margaret? What you do is if you say something, then you come on the screen and you go 1, 2, 3, and you blow. Okay? And then it's gonna be magically down through the satellites, all the way through and down to here. So here we go. On to you, say something.
1, 2, 3.
Ha! Ha! Sandy.
Yes.
You were completely in view. Did you know that?
I wanted them to see me.
Oh, you wanted them to see you. You ruined all the whole magic. But Margaret, there you are, assistant. You can take that away now.
Yeah, I've got to be careful.
You're going to knock over everything. You're going to knock
it's not my fault.
I know it's not your fault. Are you okay? Are you okay there?
Yeah.
No. Okay, the secret's out of the bag now. It's all out of the hat now. You all know how it's done. Oh, that's terrible. But you knew how it was done anyway. So that's lovely, Margaret. And have a happy birthday for the rest of the day. Yeah?
Thank you.
You can go and watch Wimbledon for the rest of the day if you like. Or you're going to have a party. I know you're going to have a party.
Grand Prix.
Ah, that's lovely. That's lovely. So let's go on to something else. Now, Con had got this song that I loved him singing on stage because it was one of the only things we ever did on stage, which is completely a cappella. It was not a cappella. It was completely and utterly live. And I loved doing it because it was a great challenge on the guitar. I did a lovely guitar piece to it. And somebody said, oh, why don't you record it, Con? And we've recorded it about 5 times. But this, I think, is the best recording of it. We put it in a nice little scene. You had to sing in an Irish pub, that's for sure. So listen, Danny boy.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go and I must buy. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be in sunshine or in shadow. Danny boy, oh Danny boy, I love you so. But when ye come and all the flowers are dying, if I am dead, as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me, and I shall hear the soft tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be. Oh, you will and tell them you
have to say that at the end for copyright reasons. That's lovely. And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, oh, wait till we see the applause, wait till we see the applause, wait till we see the, ah, that's better than money. Stephen, you're not applauding. What's wrong with you, man? That's lovely. I always say applause is nearly better than money, but not nearly. That's lovely. I must say, that is probably the best, the nicest, most gorgeous arrangement I've ever done. It was lovely. What did you think of that, Lynn?
Yeah, I loved it. It's very moving. Words are lovely, and it just hit me that I missed Con so much. You know, seeing him sing that song. It's not a good weekend because it would have been my mother's birthday yesterday. She was the same age as Con, so very emotional time. And that song's emotional and beautiful.
Well, they say, Lynn, that's probably musicologists say that song itself is probably the most beautiful song ever written, ever, of all the songs in the world. And I tend to agree. When I was working on it, it's the way the modulations go and the harmonies go. And it's a strange thing, Lynn, when you're working on a song like that, if it's easy, you know it's a good song. Like that Melody Road, I knew that was a good song because it was so easy to put it together. And that Danny Boy, all those harmonies and everything, and the way it all came naturally. There was you didn't have to really sit down and craft it and work at it on the piano and write every note down. But and that's what happens then. But I personally think that Janet, what did you think of that arrangement in Auburn, Canada? Did it sound good?
I loved it. I love that song, and you both did an excellent job. All the way here from in Canada, you have my praises.
Oh, thank you very much. Listen, I'll sing on a Toastmasters show one time, shall I?
That sounds great.
No, I'm not. I won't. But listen, everybody, we're coming to the end of the show now, and it's been a lovely show. Anything else we want to talk about? John, tell me what to talk about. Go on. Ask me a question. Anything you want.
Well, you've put me on the spot here now. So I was just thinking of some of your beautiful tracks from the 1970s. And my mind went back to the Stage and Screen Spectacular LP that you did in 1972. And I've made a comment about it on here. Your version of Tea for Two is, to my way of thinking, and I still say this when I play it on radio programs and doing everything like that, it is just the best easy listening song track recording I have ever heard. And I was wondering, do you have any memories of recording that track?
Yes, I do. And here's a sad thing for everybody. I should have mentioned it because they asked me to get involved. Deirdre O'Callaghan, who recorded that with us, that album, she sadly died 2 weeks ago. So that's another one gone.
I'm sorry to hear that, Dec. I didn't know.
Yeah, lovely girl to work with. She was very, very famous in Ireland. She was like the Catherine Jenkins in Ireland, that sort of thing. Although the Prime Minister's always had her singing, everybody had her singing. Anything important, she was the main thing, singing-wise. But the thing I remember about that was the perfection of it, John.
Yes.
Because we used a guy called, he was our musical director at the time. He traveled around with us, John Leyland might remember his name. Musical director, conducted the orchestra. Anyway, we sat for days and weeks working out all the harmonies and everything. And it was, without exception, the most perfect album. I don't know why Decca did it. And that's being very honest. Somebody must have had a brainstorm because they reckon it was the most expensive recording, the album that Decca ever made. Ivor Raymond, who wrote the arrangements, he showed me one day, he had a callus on his finger like that from writing the arrangements. There must have been about 45 musicians in the room. The biggest string section I've ever seen. They had harps, they had about 8 percussion. There were so many in the studio that they had a 12-piece choir, and the 12-piece choir was across the other side of the road in another studio and piped through with video links to do what we did. But that's the one thing I remember for it. And you are right. Some of the vocals on that are just perfection. Absolutely.
They are. Absolutely, they are. So that's like 60 people involved in the recording of one track then?
Yeah. It must, and we paid for it. That was a hilarious thing. That Dick Rowe and Ivor Raymond used to order all these musicians. Oh, I've got this great idea, and we got the bill because it was simply taken out of our royalties.
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand it, and the promotion of it was very abysmal, really. I would have thought for spending that amount of money, Decca would have done a huge TV campaign and everything, and they didn't. So it sold nicely, and we're proud of it. We did it nicely, and the whole thing was good.
And so you should be proud of it. All three of you should be proud of it. Really, it's a lovely album.
So thank you very much.
And it stands up very nicely when I hear bits of it on CD as well. It's really nice.
Yeah, lovely. So here we go. We're getting towards the end, ladies and gentlemen. Towards the end, and I repeat again, if there's anything you want me to sing or have a go at, not sing, have a go at, I'll have a go at it. Why not? It keeps me on my toes, as they say.
And I just noticed, silly Billy me, I forgot Con's favourite song, If Ever I Would Leave You. Oh, how could I do that? So have a listen and a look at what Con did with this beautiful song.
If ever I would leave you, it wouldn't be in summer. Seeing you in summer, I never would go. Your hair streaked with sunlight, your lips red as flame, your face with a luster that puts gold to shame. But if I'd ever leave you, it couldn't be in autumn. How I'd leave in autumn, I never will know. I've seen how you sparkle. I've seen how you sparkle when fall lips the air. When fall lips the air. I know you in autumn, and I must be there. And could I leave you running merrily through the snow, or on a wintry evening when you catch the fire's glow? If ever I would leave you, how could it be in springtime, knowing how in spring I'm bewitched by you so? Oh no, not in springtime,
I've enjoyed myself today, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. Anything you want me to do in the future, just tell me, okay? And I'll have a manful go at it. So the next show is on August the 7th. And the replay, I edit it tonight and get rid of all the messy bits. And it's very clean and it'll be out tomorrow with a bit of luck, but I'll let you all know. And as usual, the microphones will be open and you can all have a good old chat. But I'll say goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for listening to the rambling of this idiot in Eastbourne. Thank you very much for the compliments, John. That was really nice. And I'll show you, I'll send you the wee transfer of that so you can have it for your own little library. Okay? That's lovely. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You're very kind to me. I always say that. You're very kind. You make my month. I look forward to doing this. And the next one will be sensational, I hope, as well.
Whispering while you cuddle near me. Whisper so no one else can hear. Whispering. Each whisper seems to cheer me. I know it's true that there ain't nobody but you. Whoa,